I'm going to go live here a few minutes early. Well, a minute or two, actually. And so there's going to be a little bit of a dead space here, but I think it's always confusing the first day exactly what's happening and how things work. I am meeting on this page, which I specifically created for this group. So one of the questions might be, why are we not doing this in the Facebook group like it's always been done in the past? Well, if you're not aware, Facebook has eliminated our abilities as presenters to be able to go into our groups, our private groups, and stream into there. There's some roundabout ways and some things to do it, but it's a little complicated, etc. And once you start putting things in Facebook, you lose ownership of them. And so I have decided that I've created a special page just for this. You will always have access to that page. Like I said, up to 2 years. Wow. You will long forget about this before that time comes. And so it will be available to you. The nice thing I like about this too is I have a program here that I use, I specifically purchased and use, so that I can bring anybody that has a desire to come on live with me, and we can chat, not just chat like you do in Facebook or whatever in the comments, and I can see those, but I have the ability to be able to see you, invite you in to the studio. And then once you accept that, then I'm able to click you up and bring you right on screen here with me. And as our group, my Art Sisters, we do that often. We get together once a week, and those that can make it show up, and I invite them on. And of course, if they're out and about and they can't really get on live, then they can watch it and put comments and, visit back and forth. But it's so fun to be able to talk to each other and to share with each other what's going on. All right, so I'm sitting here, and let's see what time we're at. We are right at 11 o'clock, and I should probably go ahead and put something in the little Facebook group, though, that I've already sent something there. So let me see here if I can just send this. I apologize. I'll try to maybe edit this out of the total video when we get going in that. I'll put, we are live. Join me on the page that has I'll just put we're live. It can get so confusing. What I think is clear it is not always clear, So there we go. All right, we'll put that on there like that. I'm going to go ahead and just turn my little ringer off in case somebody kind of pops on. All right, I am going to go ahead here because, and if you come in, go ahead and put your name in the comment. Let me know you're here. I can tell because it gives me up on top, how many are watching, etc. So I can tell someone has come, and then I can invite you in if you choose to come. But let's get started. Welcome to our Mixed Media Week. This is going to be a fun time. And my goal as an artist is to really just inspire you, to help you to answer any questions that you might have. This past weekend, I did an art showing, an art fair that was actually in our downtown square, and it was so much fun. I had artists come by, and I had one woman who said to me, she said, I just really don't enjoy doing acrylics. I like watercolors and that. She said, but I don't enjoy doing acrylics. And I said, well, why? What is it about acrylics that you don't? And she says, I don't really know. And I said, well, is it because they dry faster and you can't really, watercolor, you can blend them and keep, they just keep very fluid. Yeah, yeah, that's why, she said, that's why. And so I shared with her, and I'm going to share this with you. If that seems to be the same sentiment that you have also, I told her about adding some acrylic medium. Let me put it right under this one. There we go. Acrylic medium. You're going to find different brands. This is a matte. There is also glossy. I like to use the matte when I'm adding it to my acrylic paints. What this does is it extends the time that it stays fluid for you. So you can actually work with it a little bit longer. Acrylic is geared to dry quickly, which is really actually very nice when you're trying to do layers. Unlike oil, I've never really used oil, but oil does stay. You have to allow that to, to dry, etc. Acrylic dries pretty quickly, and you can continue to add layers to it, or help it dry a little faster with a dryer or something, and then continue on and get your project done. So for that reason, I do like, but I do know that in some incidences, I would like it to extend. Now you can always add water to it, but the problem with that is the water dilutes the pigment. It makes it lighter. It's not quite as, vibrant as it does when you just apply it. And so this does not dilute the pigment. Oh, there we go. It keeps it so that it's, even though it's looser, like as if you had added water, it doesn't dilute the color at all. You still have that vibrancy and that going on. And of course, the camera I'm using that's showing it does, it's a little close to the table, but this is our project that we're going to be finishing up this week. And I've broken it down and given us little bits and pieces to work on. So if you've made it to the page, you will have found 2 videos already that I prepared for you. Those 2 videos, if you can have, go through those and have those done so that tomorrow when we start, we will actually start on the canvas ready to add our, do our values and start putting some of that on there. What the videos are that I gave you basically is, the first one is it shows you how to print off your template depending on the size you want. You could choose to do, I did this in the large size, which and I've got that copy for you, or reach over here. One thing that we use in our group quite often is this size of watercolor paper. It's a 9 by 12. Put that up there so you see the size, the 9 by 12. We use that quite often with our projects. And the watercolor paper makes it heavy enough that you can put this acrylic on it and it works just beautifully. So you have your choice there. I think this is 11 by 14. That's a 9 by 12. And choose what you'd like. If you have the capabilities of shrinking it down, you want to do something smaller, great. Now, I did have one of our students reach out to me and she said, I don't own a printer. She says, I guess I could draw this. And I said, absolutely. I think it would be wonderful. It is an illustrated enough piece. It's not real, tight and, particularly specific. It's very loose. It's opened to interpretation. And so that makes it very easy for you to, to do it as you would like. So basically that first video, as we're going through, well, the first video is the copying, and how to put your puzzle, thing together. The second one is where I'm going through and I start helping you transfer it on to this canvas, and you're using, let's see if I have any right here with me. There's some. You're using what's called graphite paper. The graphite paper has 2 sides. One obviously is the graphite that goes down against the surface that you want to transfer on. And then the other one is just nothing. There's no graphite on top of that, okay? So you put that down. You put your template over the top. Let me grab this. This isn't the template, but it's, you put that on top. And then you just start tracing. And that helps transfer the image right onto your canvas, which is wonderful to help give that kickstart and to help, kind of put things in the proportions and where they fit on your surface. But going back to if you don't have a printer that can actually help you with that, I walk you through, and I did some changes myself from what's on this original image. I took off some things. And when it comes to the petals, you're going to be taking a brush when we actually do this. And I used a round tip, a large round tip when I did it. And I took it because I wanted that tip to create that point. And I just laid the paint on it, obviously, laid it down on my surface and pulled and lifted. And that's how you'll create your petals. Very easy, quick movement. And so you won't have to worry about drawing those out. So you get your circle, and I kind of go down and I talk to you about that. We create the circle. I do go ahead and draw out my petals, but there again, like I said, when I really get down to painting this, I just use my paintbrush and it creates the petal. The stem is very easy to do, and I talked to you about creating the leaves how you would like them. There is a lot of leaves in this template, and I explained that to you in that video. But I also tell you, eliminate some, put in the ones that you want. And all you have to do is create an almond shape when you're making your leaf. Just put out a little branch out from the stem and create an almond shape. All right. And that's how you'll do that. See, this gives you another. This is a little bit different. I did several of these as I was preparing and making this class for you. But it's just kind of, even like you could call it a teardrop if you wanted to. But they're all different kind of shapes. They are large. They're not tiny leaves because sunflowers aren't tiny leaves. But there again, I walk you through all of this so you can easily draw this out onto your surface. No problem at all. So those are the two videos. If you will please go through those, get those done, have it completed. You will then take, after you've got this transferred or drawn on here, you will take, I suggest using a lavender or a purple, wetting it down, make it really loose. Take that and then draw that right over those pencil lines, right over those graphite lines. And it gets rid of that line, but it leaves the form for you so you can follow. And then it kind of makes sure that you don't have pencil lines on your drawing or your painting, anywhere when you're through. So that's what that's for. And that will get you all prepared and ready to go for what we do tomorrow, which is actually go in and start putting in the value study and the washes. All right. Today, what we're going to do is I started this with my group, my Art Sisters, 2 months ago, maybe 3 now, because I just started falling in love with using, where did I just put that? Tissue paper. How did that happen? Well, I do not know how to really do calligraphy or anything. And what I want to do, I love to do painted cards or images where you put a quote on or something. And I found that when I would try to go in and write that, I wasn't pleased with my writing. Okay. And of course, the easy way around that is to print it out, put it down, transfer it on, and then follow that. But I decided it might be great to try putting it on tissue paper. So I did that. I wrote it out on tissue paper. And then you rip it. Don't cut it, rip it, because there's something about that sharp, flat edge that makes it so it really stands out. But a ripped edge tends to blend in much nicer. But I would put that down. And when I did that, the tissue, the white tissue, would just disappear. I mean, if you turned it at an angle, you could see that there was something. But to just look at it, you couldn't. You saw the words beautiful. And I started doing that, a year or so ago. And I got thinking, well, let's do something else with this. It might be fun. And so as you see here, I've placed up here my container, which I put my scraps in that on here. I keep all kinds of different scraps. That's the original picture I made for y'all. But I started making all these different, just taking, when you're painting or you're doing something, you're going to have extra paint left over, right? And so instead of putting it on maybe printer paper, I started putting it on tissue paper and creating these pieces, just these random pieces of different colors. Some of them we did do a project where I gave them the template for some flowers and leaves and that. They transferred that onto the tissue paper, painted it, and then we collaged that on a page, and it's really quite fun to do. But as you can see, I'm just showing you randomly. I've got all different colors and that on here so that if I, think to myself, well, I'd like to do a little collage here. I'd like to put something on that I can pull from my stash and use that. So that's what today's project is going to be. And if you don't have tissue paper, I do suggest that you do get some and try it. You can get it very inexpensively. Realize that you need to have a plastic surface on your table that you're painting on, because the tissue paper, it goes right through. All right, it goes right through. So I have a plastic surface that separates the table, and I can put the tissue paper on. Then when I'm done, I very carefully lift it up and hang it on something or put it somewhere where it can dry. It doesn't take long to dry. But that keeps that from marring or ruining my tabletop. Let's see. Let me just put this over here. I've already cut out. I usually take great big sheets of tissue paper, and then I cut them down small so that they're manageable to work with. As you can see, I've got my plastic here. And the reason, too, is I like to use a lot of water. I don't take the paint. Sometimes I'll put it straight down, but if you just leave it like that, it's so opaque that you don't get that kind of transparency that I love with using the tissue. I love the fact that you can put it over something else and see that hint of something behind it that brings that curiosity and that interest into your piece. And so what I've done here is I usually water it down, and I'm just going to show you and then let you put this over here. Let you go about doing this yourself. Doesn't take long. You can get quite a few done. I am using, rather than the heavier paint, heavy body paint, which you could use there again. You just have to dilute it. I'm using the craft paint, and we do use the craft paint quite often just because that's something that a lot of people do have. Now, I am putting this straight on the paper, okay? Don't necessarily need to do it that way. It would probably be better to put it on something else, mix it down, and then put it. But there again, I just want to show you how quick, easy, and simple this can be. So I've already wet that, brushed it out. And I've got myself a nice, I'll lift that, a nice piece right there. What I like to do at that point is I love to blend colors a little bit and see what else I can get. So let's take this really pretty, it's almost a turquoise color, but it's got a little more green to it. I'm going to make sure that my brush, make sure it's clean. Gotta always have paper towel ready to go. And there again, I'm going to, just because of, I'm going to put it on here, put a little piece of it, and grab that water. And, thin it out. Ooh. There's a piece of something that's fallen off my paintbrush, so we'll get rid of that. I think it's a little wood chip. There we go. And if you kind of blend these, you can get some really pretty colors to work with. This time I'm going to take my yellow. Got just something here. And I'm going to put it down on another surface and wet that. Yellow is kind of a transparent color anyway, but. And this is all you do. This is it. This is all. I didn't want to make it too complicated today. I know this seems pretty simple, but there's quite a few other steps to do to be ready to go tomorrow. And it is a Monday. Sometimes Mondays can be a little bit of a slower day as we come off our weekends. But you can see, just fill up the page so that you have a nice variety. And then as you lift it up and go lay it somewhere that won't, damage. Don't put it on a table or anything. But see, it's wet underneath. And so it's going to take a little dry just to lay it like that. I could take my paper towel, dry this off, or even separate it and then put that over the top. I could do that. And then that would give a little more air so that could sit there and dry just like that, just fine. That would work. Now, let me show you actually the colors I used so you have a better idea of maybe what to choose. But there again, excuse me, I had to get some water on here. And I'm going to move myself over a little bit because I hope I clicked the right one. There we go. I want you to really see this. I've got a yellow here, lots of blues, because my thinking was this is outdoors and you're going to have the sky, which typically is always illustrated with blue. But I also use this kind of orangey pink. It's kind of a peachy color. And I love the way that it adds just a nice variety to the work. And what we'll end up doing when we collage this, it'll be after we do our values. It will be, it'll be Wednesday that we actually start this collage. But we rip strips and pieces and we collage it on different areas. And then you can come back with paint and fill in. You're not collaging every single thing. This right here is quite interesting. And notice the color. I like that red against with the green. To get that, what I did is I took kind of a real hot pink, a burgundy color, you might say. And I'll just get a brush here. Took the color and I started dabbing it like it was flowers, like it was a bush or something. Just randomly dab that on as you're seeing me do here. And the purpose of that is I wanted it to feel like, all right, there's other plants, other flowers going on in this garden. So if you want to do that, you can do something like this similar. I did not do that in the second time that I created this, but I did add, I painted some pink and I added that because I liked the contrast that it has, that it creates against that yellow. And so anyway, you don't have to do this like this, but I just tend to like it. Once you do that, find yourself a green. Here's a green. Come back in and just basically dab that around. You don't have to leaving some of the spots white is great. It's fine. But I put the green in because it's like the leaves of that. Okay. And that makes something really fun and interesting too. All right. So that pretty much summarizes what we need to do to create your collage papers. You can, if you want to be more specific, let's see. You really don't have room on here to make anything else that's real outlined, or what's the word I'm looking for? I just went blank. Perfect. That's the only thing I can think about. It is really left up to the imagination, this background. And so drawing out a flower and trying to make it perfect is a waste of time, is basically what I'm saying. Keep it loose. Keep it that illustrated kind of intuitive feel. And then you'll go back in and we'll apply that. All right. Now, what I will do, hi, Marion, how are you? Thank you. If you'd like to come on, I will be happy to have you on, but I'm going to go ahead and show your comment. Those colors in the background give a hint of a landscape behind the flowers. Exactly. That was my purpose, is I felt like I wanted something else to be going on. So I leave that choice to you, obviously, what it is that you would like to do. Now, do you have any other comments or any questions? Marion, you seem to be the only one right now that has shown up, so everybody else is going to watch the replay. I'm great. I am cleaning my kitchen and I'll stay behind the camera. Okay, perfect. That's what's fun about this, is it's fun to get on and then it's fun to just listen and watch. But this is, if you came on a little bit late, this is all that you need to really have done before we start tomorrow, except for those two other videos I showed you, which is the transferring, putting together your template, and then transferring it on. And I did tell everyone that basically, if you don't want to make it specifically the way I have it, or you don't have a printer to print it off, you can draw this very easily and just, put your pumpkins. This camera is kind of close to it, so it's hard to put your pumpkins down at the bottom. And how do you just make some circles? Make this was an oval right down here, this oval. And then this one, it's cut off. The pumpkin's cut off about halfway. So you just make half of a circle. This one is an oval. You've got your stems that pop up. Circles here for the centers. You don't even have to worry about drawing these out. I'm being specific because you're going to use your brush when we get to that point. Like I said, you'll take your brush. I'll have you add paint to it. We'll load it with paint, and then you're going to take it, hold it, and pull. And that's how you will create your petals. Super easy. So I didn't want to give too much today because there is a lot to get ready for tomorrow. But if you don't have any other questions or anything that I can help you with, or if you want to visit about, then I will go ahead and sign us off for today. Tomorrow will go a lot longer. I've got it already. I will walk you through. I have the video, but part of it I left the voice on it, and the other part I took it off. So I'm going to go through that and walk you through all the steps in that so that we can get that accomplished. All right. I'm so glad that you did join us, Marion. I've got, Marion was part of one of my groups. But I do have other My Art Sisters that are going to be joining us and being a part of this week. So I welcome everyone that has signed up. I do hope that you're checking for your emails. Always check your spam just in case you don't see something. I will be sending things out. I will send you an email to let you know, just to remind you. If you don't see it, check your spam. Okay. Have a great day, Marion. You'll catch the replay tomorrow. Okay. Thanks for sharing that with me. All righty. Y'all have a great day, and I look forward to visiting with you again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Monday.